Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be talking about the Paris Eternal, and yes, just like my previous video on the Washington Justice, the logo is still not showing up, so we'll just ignore that for the meantime. But the Eternal have not changed anything. They've only added one new player and that is it. So let's now talk about their roster. So they basically kept everyone except for Onigod and Suna. Everyone else they've just kept. So they kept Naga, Khan, Dridro, Dan, and Vestola, who left the team first, but then joined the team back. So that was interesting. I don't know why the hell they got rid of Vestola. I think he did a pretty decent job, but luckily he is back. The only one new player who they added into the team is Glister. That is all. That's all they've added. Um, they're probably gonna be just like last year. I mean, maybe like some big surprises. But there's not a lot I can really say about this team. Like legit nothing. All I know is that they are most likely gonna perform like they did last year. Probably like mainly decent, mid-pack team, but not really gonna surprise a lot of people. I mean, actually, they did surprise a lot of people last year, but they've also but they were just mid-pack. They weren't like the best, but mid-pack. They were fairly average last season. I'm still confused why the hell they got rid of Oni God. I thought Oni God was like a fantastic player, and definitely also helped the Eternal. I mean, if they kept Oni guarding, and they added Gliss, I think that would have been a pretty good DPS lineup. But I just don't know about this whole team as a whole. I just don't know. But for the other players, Neptuno and Elivote, they both left during the season. Suna has joined Team Peps, Vestola has rejoined the Eternal, and Oni God is currently teamless. So I don't know. I mean, I really hope he gets an Overwatch League opportunity very, very, very soon. Let's now have a look at the coaches, and they have gone full Korean, basically. So they used to have Get Amazed, who left the team to go to O1 underscore esports, which is a Saudi Arabian team, which I think did pretty decently at some LAN event. I don't blame now. I think they had like some like big play, yeah, like Kellex, like Hardy was there, Admiral, Joe. Actually, I think Jofi was either way, but they mainly had like Kellex. And there's also like Doge as well, and there's also like Yanza. I think that's how you say it. No, I don't know. But I think they won some. Yeah. So they won the Saudi E League 2022 Season 1 tournament against Falcon Esports in the grand final. So I guess that was something. But they've kept J-Mac in as their head coach, and they've added Mobugi. I don't know how you say his name. Mobugi. I don't know. He was formerly from Team BM, which is a Korean Overwatch team. Who's fairly decent. It's a fairly decent team. That's what I can really say. A very very decent Korean contenders team, but nothing really much to be surprised about. I don't know what else to say about this team. Like, I'm trying to make it like as like incredibly like informational and long as possible, but I just don't know what else to say about this team because it's such a small roster. At least like for the NYXL, I got to talk about Vulcan, who did join the team. For the internal, this is their entire roster. They're not adding any more players. Maybe they will be during the mid-season, but they're not adding any more players. So I just don't know like what else to say about this roster. I just don't. So I think with that in mind, let's now talk about the ratings. So keep in mind that they are in the NA region, so they're in the West region. I think they might be playing in NA. I think they might be playing in North America, in America, but I might be completely wrong. I think I think they might be playing in Europe. I don't know. I might be wrong once again. Um, but we'll first start off with the DPS players of Naga and Glister. I think Glister, I mean, he was formerly from the Shock. I think he did a decent job on the Shock. Didn't really, I mean, he actually had a fairly low play time actually in the Shock. But I don't think it was really good enough for his performance. But maybe the Eternal that may turn around. I'm probably gonna guess all like most London Spitfire players are kicking a lot of. I think when this roster change was announced, there was a lot of there was a lot of London Spitfire fans who were kicking themselves because Gloucester has joined I guess their rival European team. But this is a pretty decent DPS lineup. I'll probably give them maybe a 7. I think a 7 for DPS is pretty good. I mean, I don't think it's really overestimating them. I don't think it's underestimating them. Maybe a bit overestimating, but that's just obviously judging their performance from last year. And I think Les is also going to maybe elevate this roster a tiny bit, but not a whole lot. But I mean, I might be completely wrong about that. We just have to wait and see. Next one is the supports consisting of Khan and Dridro. I think I think the support players definitely surprised me. I think Dridro did a really good job and a decent job last season, including Khan as well. But I mean, compared to everyone else in the league, it's gonna be quite difficult. So probably maybe 6.5. I think that's a pretty good one. 6.5 for those supports. If I can actually write it, there we go. 6.5 for the supports. I think because like there's not like a lot of firepower in them. I know I obviously there was a lot of hype behind Khan when he was announced of being in the league. I think he did a very good job as the flex support player. And Jojo did really decent in main support. But compared to everyone else in the league, I think the only support duos that they can maybe rival is maybe the Titans and the Spitfire. That's really all I can really think of. But yeah, that's all I can really say, because I'll be honest, the supports like, on paper they look decent, but against everyone else in the in that region, not that great. Let's now move on to the tanks with Dan and Vestola. I wasn't really paying attention a lot to Dan, I'll be honest. I was more impressed by Vestola of how well he went for being a replacement, just like Dridro. Both of them were replacements. Um, Mid-season because Elivote and Neptuno both left the team. Neptuno has literally went over to Valorant. I think Elivote was in a team. I might be completely wrong about that. But they were basically last-minute replacements during the season, and I think they did a really good job during that. But I'll probably have to give maybe the tank a tiny bit lower score compared to the support, which is probably maybe a 6. I think a 6 is pretty good. So 6 out of 10 for the tanks. I don't think they're far off against from the support players of Khan and Dridro, but just like I said, I'm also comparing from the rest of the league, and everyone else in the league have a very good tank lineup. So and with these two, I don't know if he's really gonna cut it. But however, they may surprise me once again this season, and we just have to just wait and see. Really, I generally don't know. So 7 out of 10 for DPS, 6.5 out of 10 for support, and 6 out of 10 for the tanks. We now move on to the coaches, which only has J-Mac and Mobugi. I still don't know how to say his name. I'm probably gonna give them maybe I don't know. Apparently, as I've been told, J-Mac did like I think the real reason why the tournament was so good was because of Get Amazed. I think if they just kept Get Amazed, I think I would definitely elevate the coaching staff and maybe also the roster as well of that maybe of like where I'm thinking, where they're gonna go. But if they only just kept Get Amazed, but they didn't, and they have opted to go full Korean in a mainly full European roster with only one Korean. I don't understand. Whatever. I think JMA can speak some pretty good English, so hopefully that can help them. But I, the coaching stuff is weird. I'll probably maybe give them maybe 6.5. I think 6.5 is a pretty good score for the coaches because I mean JMac they might be really good. I think last year as a coach I think he was really good. I don't know why they got rid of their translator, but they did, and it confuses me still. Um, I'm just concerned about the communication between players and coaches because I don't know how good of how good JMax English is because I know they'll be speaking mainly English. I know Glissa speaks a little bit of English, but That's all I can really say. Like, I don't know how good Mobugi's English is. I don't know about their English, and which is the big issue if you're a coach. You need to, if you want to coach someone, you need to have the, good. You need to have like a good, the ability to speak their language, which is English predominantly in the internal, which is it's basically English in most rosters, if but it's not if it's like full Korean or full Chinese. So if J-Mac and Mobugi were in a full Korean roster, then I would be fine with that. But because this is English, this is an English roster. I just don't understand the coaches. I just don't understand. Like if they kept the translator or even get a mace, I think that would have been a lot better. But they didn't. They just let them go. I'm so confused. I'm molded at these changes that the Eternal are making. Maybe I'm just look. Maybe I'm just being dumb. I don't know. They may actually surprise me. But I don't see this coaching staff being this good. So 6.5 out of 10 for the coaches. So that's it for the Eternal. The next one is the Dallas Fuel, who actually made some changes, surprisingly, unlike the Eternal. My god. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.